It's a cult. It's a cult. And if we're going to survive, then we're going to have to become like a cult too. We're going to have to be the cult of people who are adamant about democracy, about saving the world. I'm here late for my live at lunch because I have things to do with all this endorsement program stuff is super overwhelming right now. Endorsement stuff and booking these appearances, but with the National Publicity Summit for my book that comes out June 1st, all of this is like, wow. So I was catching up on the news because I like to give it, like of the weekend, I like to hang out with my husband, like real people who actually have a life that doesn't just involve being scared and upset all the time. So we did a lot of gardening. I got so much planted. That was wonderful. If you don't know me, I'm Linda Kay Gifford. I am just Linda Kay Gifford. I'm a neurolinguistic practitioner specializing in cPTSD because I have complex PTSD, stemming from 7 years of childhood grooming and sexual assault. And I wrote a book called Call It Assault, My Continuing Efforts to Survive Childhood Sexual Assault, which I got picked up by the publicist for the Chicken Soup for the Soul series and Rich Dad Poor Dad, Bone Broth Diet, Women Are From Venus, Men Are From Mars. I think that's right. It's that or flip it. Anyway, so I'm very excited about that. But here I am. I was like catching up. It's like, my God. In the last week alone, we've lost I think it's 25% of the workforce of Health and Human Services. Health and Human Services? Why does that need to go down? Why have they closed Social Security offices, regional offices? People can't get there. They're making new requirements that people have to show up. People on disabilities, people who already are challenged. What else has happened this week? Oh, let's see. We've defunded the national parks. I mean, significant decreases in funding have led to, in some places, overcrowding because the reservation system is going down. They can't do day reservations. And I know me and my kids stayed at Johnson Shut-ins, and we made our campground appointment, like where we're going to stay months in advance so that we would have that spot. And that's how they control the flow in the park. But now that system's gone in most major national parks. So overcrowding is going to be a problem. Just trashing the environment is going to be a problem. The lifting of regulations that go side by side with it. Other parks have gone the other way and shut down because of lack of park rangers have shut down major tourist sites. There's a place in Utah that my son went to with his grandparents, and I've got his picture and can't remember what it's called. The big like eye in the southwest that you look through. You know what I'm talking about. Look out at everything behind it. Yeah. Well, that's closed to the public. Let's see. Oh, JD Vance decided to go to Greenland with his wife, and they didn't go to the dog sled races because they found out that protests were scheduled for the dog sled races. So they went freaking out and went to I don't know, the base, military base, 1,000 miles north of New. I don't do Icelandic, but I think they have the right to autonomy. I had to write it down. There's like so many things that happened this week. I was just like, what? What the hell is going on here? Do you know that China, Japan, and South Korea just met for the first time in 5 years to decide to form an alliance, a trade alliance? And you know that China is already the largest exporter in the world. So all we're doing with the tariffs is alienating everybody else who's going to turn to China. Why would they come to us if we're going to reciprocate tariffs? and where people who don't understand economics, and I'm one of them for the most part, but people don't understand economics to get it that, oh, it makes kind of sense, even on the outside. Well, if they charge us 6%, then why do we only charge them 1%? Of course we should get 6%, but it doesn't work that way. These are small countries, medium-sized countries of different levels of economies. Different people have different things that we want, and the tariffs reflect a very careful balance of decades of diplomacy by actual people who do that thing, who have now mostly been fired from the government. And it pisses me off. They got the young blood out with the probationary stuff. They got the old folks out because retire or get thrown out. And at our age, we care about insurance. I literally can't stay alive without a medical team now at my age. So, yeah. So, like I said at the beginning, we're going to have to be a cult too, but not a culty cult. We're going to have to present as a unified, goddamn consistent front. I know people don't want to go out and protest every weekend. I'm not at the marches because I have a knee replacement coming May 8th. And I'm getting a knee replacement so that I can rejoin the marches and those things. But resisting live here, that's what we can do. We can all do it. And I encourage you to go live too. It's not about being here with me. It's about every one of us showing up to say, no, I don't agree. And I'm not afraid, but you are afraid. Probably a lot of us are afraid. I mean, my God, I wrote that down. Let's see. Professors, bag tagged and dragged right off the street, coming back into the country from vacation or seeing their family, or just literally leaving or going to work. Everyone from professors to barbers have been literally grabbed, bagged, and tagged. Grabbed, which you grab them and you bag them and you tag them and you sell them to the butcher at the store. And the butcher at the store is some internment camp that's getting paid to house them. Privatizing, we call that. We're going to privatize everything. See how well privatizing prisons went, right? I mean, for the money we spend to board immigrants in our prisons, for profit prisons, we could be buying them rent and college educations. Not that I'm saying we should. I'm saying there's a disparity. So back to tariffs, you don't reflect. The world is not we charge 6% on this, so you should raise yours to 6% too. It's we have to balance all of this, and it takes people and systems a long time to develop. And there's the theory that systems always develop into chaos, right? That entropy, they're always going to develop and there's also theories that it's all going to create some kind of order at some point. And I'm not here to talk about theories. It just came to mind that both of them are food for thought right now, for sure. So let's see third presidency? Yeah, and he's like, oh, no, I'm not kidding. Not kidding. Oh, and back to the Danes. So Vance and his wife, Usha, go to this base in northern Greenland, where there won't be any trouble for them because it's too far north for protests to gather. It's 1,000 miles of ice and not much in between. People aren't going to drive and show up at the military base for that. And they knew that, so they kept her away from the dog sled races. They sent him along, and while there, he made a speech saying at the military base that we would never use military force, right? And then 2 days later, or however many few days later, Trump says, sure, we would. I'm not taking military force off the table. I would never take, I think the quote is, I will never take military force off the table. His deal is play along. We're going to get what we want. We're going to have what we want. So we are now the bully on the playground. And unfortunately, you're only as good I mean, think of it like when you're buying a bag of potatoes. Okay. I'm going to use potatoes instead of apples because they're particularly smelly when they're bad. If I pick up the potato bag and I sniff them, I'm that person. I'm going to sniff it. And if it smells rotten, might be one bad potato in there. And I think to myself, that one bad potato might spoil the whole bag. There might be spores, there might be whatever in there that's going to spread. I buy the bag of potatoes that smells fresh, like dirt, like potatoes should smell. And in the world situation, it's so easy to say he's not my president, but he is. Goddamn Donald J. Trump is my president. And whatever the hell Elon Musk is, he's that too. And I don't have to like it, but by not acknowledging it and by just disappearing and not fighting for truth and sanity in politics and society again, in congressional oversight, by not doing those things, then I am complicit. And you are complicit. So don't be complicit. We can't be complicit. I have children. I have children who are going to start having children. My youngest child and his girlfriend / promise ring fiance, on that line between promise and fiance, they just got their first home together. They are young people entering professions. She's a nurse. He's a cop, about to be a cop. She's working on her nurse practitionership. And I'm so proud of them. And they deserve a future that has the promises that come with being a civilized society. Healthcare, good schools, clean water and air for their children. They just want a white picket fence and some kids and dirt bikes and some camping and fun. And I had that growing up. Despite the other crap in my life, I had a very wonderful upbringing because, well, a few things. One thing I never, ever, this came up the other day. I was like, I never played on the playground and wondered if someone might shoot me. It never occurred to me someone might shoot me. We never did a lockdown drill. We never had to hide in the closets to practice an active shooter drill. These things some things that didn't cross our mind, like car seats, are a good thing to add.
Willie, Douglas William, Will Hoyt.
My son is calling. I am going to pause and answer because son's always more important. Okay. Yo, you are live. Hi.
Hey, I'm just going to work now.
I love you. You're actually on a live stream right now. So.
Love you too.
Will you have a minute to talk at work?
Maybe later. Not sure yet.
All right. I was just talking about you guys. I was bragging about you.
No waste.
What a waste. No, that's my son going to be a cop. Okay. Well, I think TikTok is stopped while we're talking because it's on the phone. And Restream is like, I'm like, kids first, always. Usually I have it on Do Not Disturb, but my kids can always get free Do Not Disturb.
Sounds good. Well,
all right. I love you, baby. I'll talk to you in a little while. Call me when you're free later.
All right. Sounds good. Love you.
Bye.
Bye.
Okay. Hi, sorry about that. That was my son I just spoke of calling. I am my son who is both working at the jail and he's the guy in the middle where the prisoners hang out in the big room. And he's like in the middle, making sure nothing goes down and answering prisoner requests. And I'm just like, oh my God, I don't know which is more terrifying, that or the fact